Hey, it's John with Vision Advisors, and welcome to another Insight in Vision. I want to talk to you about what's next in your practice. As the United States begins to slowly reopen its doors after having been, essentially shut down for the last almost 2 months, I want to challenge you to begin to think into your financial future. What is next for your practice, and what are the steps that you need to take today to ensure your financial success and the financial success of your customers tomorrow? Who would have thought that 2 months ago we would have seen our nation literally shut down and the world brought to its knees by an invisible, silent killer called coronavirus? This small microscopic bug has literally brought an entire world to its knees. It has halted the global economy in a way that we haven't seen since the Spanish flu at the turn of the 19th century. For many of us today, our current normal has been, I'm sorry, we're closed. Unless you have been deemed an essential business in various parts of the country, you have essentially been shut down. And even if you've been fortunate enough to be opened, the vast majority of financial professionals have struggled to have an opportunity to connect with clients and prospects in an environment where everybody is more concerned about their health, their welfare, and their safety than they are about their money at this point in time. But money issues have become a significant problem that we've got to deal with as a result of this coronavirus pandemic. And it's an area that we as financial professionals are well suited to help. And now that things are changing and we're slowly beginning to see America open up in phases or stages in different parts of the country, we're going to be getting around to some sense of normalcy over the next several months. It's not going to happen overnight, but we are slowly going to see the United States economy and the economies of the world begin to reopen. The important question for you that you need to be asking is, what's next? What do you need to do? What significant changes do you need to make in your practice to be able to adapt to the new normal that will be life in a post-COVID-19 world? In having conversation with many financial professionals, they seem to think it's going to go back to business as usual. And once this pandemic is gone and our communities open up, we're back to business as usual. Well, whether you realize it or not, and you've really thought into what business as usual looks like in a post-COVID-19 world, in reality, it's going to be not business as usual. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the cheese has moved. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a book written back in the 80s called Who Moved My Cheese? It was a very powerful story about changing dynamics, changing how we do business. Well, guess what? The cheese has moved again. The way we did business before has been fundamentally altered. E-apps have become much more commonplace. Virtual meetings with clients have become the norm rather than face-to-face meetings. That is going to continue. Unless you don't believe me when I say the cheese has moved, I want you to think about this. Prior to the coronavirus hitting our shores, we were in a world where everybody gathered together. We could do a dinner seminar at a restaurant and pack 30 or 40 people in a small room to meet with them for a couple of hours. We could do adult education events, and we could again pack the room. We could meet with people in their homes. They could come into our office and they could interact freely. But today, we live in a social distancing world. And even as the economies around the country begin to open up, social distancing rules are going to continue to be in place. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't realized it, this is the new normal. And this new normal will continue for some time. So how do you do business in the new normal? How do you do business in a social distancing world post-COVID-19? For those of you that are doing dinner seminars, I want you to think about the fact that you typically put 20, 30, 40 people in a room that don't know each other, that are in small, cramped, confined quarters, hearing you talk for 45 minutes to an hour, and then spending another hour eating and enjoying a meal. sitting with people they don't know, getting to know them and interact. Well, in a post-coronavirus world, we're going to be limited to the number of people that we can put into any confined space. Restaurants may be limited to 25 or 50% capacity. And then the other question is, how many older people that have comorbidity issues such as diabetes, heart disease, lung disease, they're cancer patients, they've got a compromised immune system, they've got severe obesity or other medical factors that make them more at risk for exposure to coronavirus or any other virus that they're now much more sensitive to. How many of them are actually going to come to your event? So maybe you go from 30 in a room to 15 in an ideal world, but we're not going to be in an ideal world, and maybe that 15 turns into 10. And being able to get the law of large numbers to work for you, dinner seminars are going to have to change. And if you're doing adult education in some setting, again, the same rules are going to apply. With social distancing remaining in place for some time and people choosing to continue to social distance, especially an older populace more susceptible to sickness and disease, your numbers in adult education are going to be smaller as well. We have to remember there is still a significant populace of at-risk people that want and need our help, but are not necessarily going to be willing to embrace going back to the old way of doing business and the old normal. They're going to be looking at a new normal where they're going to be much more sensitive to the events they attend, the places they go, the people they congregate with, and this demographic is going to be less likely to want to spend time with people they don't know in a crowded setting where they may potentially be exposed to a virus or some of the disease that could potentially be life-threatening. The normal has changed. The cheese has moved, and we have to adapt. Now, it's important to remember because we've embraced it over the last couple of months, and if you haven't, shame on you for sitting on the sidelines. Online marketing and the ability to use online tools to connect with and to stay engaged with our clients is not going away. There's still going to be a populace that does not want to meet face-to-face for some time. And even at the times that they do choose to meet face-to-face, if they're anxious and they're fearful and they're concerned for their health, the opportunity for you to have a successful interaction with them that leads to a buying decision is going to be significantly diminished. So we need to address the fact that online is here to stay. And if you haven't yet embraced it, you've got to embrace it, or you're ultimately going to become a relic at some point, because this is where the industry is moving. Another area that you need to consider, and if you haven't gone there already, is to getting into the world of social media. During this time of stay-at-home orders and shelter-in-place orders, people have gone on to and have embraced social media as a norm, a way that they're going to interact with friends and family and coworkers and to stay connected. And even as we go back to work, these habits that they've ingrained over this 6, 8, 12-week period, however long they've been confined, are going to stay with them for some time. They're going to be looking to see if you have a social media presence. And this is another way that you've got an opportunity to engage and connect with your clients. And I am amazed at the number of financial professionals I talk to that still do not have a business Facebook page. Many of them still don't have a website. They don't have a LinkedIn presence. They're not visible on YouTube. They're not visible in the places your clients are going. And to me, that makes no sense not to be where your clients and prospective clients are. In the new normal, you've got to embrace the technologies that are there that people are gravitating to. You've got to put your arms around it, and you've got to love on it, whether you like it or not. You know, it's been interesting over the last several weeks. I've been doing weekly group trainings and one-on-one trainings with financial professionals, many of them older individuals that have never embraced technology. And we have spent time teaching them how to use Zoom, how to use Ring Central, how to use Facebook Live, how to create a YouTube or a Vimeo channel. We've had lots of conversations in helping individuals that have never done this see success. I think of a producer in Southern California that works with foreign nationals. And all of last year, she traveled back and forth to Mexico and Central America to meet with foreign nationals, flying back and forth many, many times during the year. This lady is in her 70s, and she, for the first time, discovered the power of video conferencing and what it could do for her. After we spent some time training her, she began to engage with CPAs in Mexico and in Central America that work with her foreign national clients, saving her travel, saving her time, and having the opportunity to stay engaged in real time with those individuals in different parts of the world. Social media and virtual technologies have literally broken down geographic barriers and are allowing producers like the one I referenced and others that we're working with to reach across boundaries. No more does a seminar have to be a dinner seminar for people within 5 miles of a restaurant. A dinner seminar can be virtual, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But if you don't embrace it, you're going to miss the opportunity that's before you. Now, it's just a tool in the toolbox to use with the other tools that you currently have. It's not a replacement for, it's an addition to the other tools that you have. But if all you've got's a hammer, then every problem that you see looks like a nail. Well, in this new normal, the problems you're going to be dealing with and the problems your clients are going to be dealing with are going to require innovative solutions. That's going to require you to put some new tools in the toolbox. That's what we've been teaching and training producers to do over the last couple of months. And in fact, we've been teaching and training producers how to do this over the last 3 to 5 years. The challenge I want to issue to all of you watching this is this. I want you to begin to think into your practice. One of the problems we all have is we get comfortable with the status quo and we do things the way we've always done. And there's an old adage that I heard growing up that if you do things the way you've always done them, you're going to get the same results you've always gotten. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. That's what I used to hear my parents tell me. However, thinking into our practice is going to give us an opportunity to begin to look for and to see a chance to connect with our clients in a different way that maybe we've never done before, because we never paused and took time to say, is there a better way, or is there a different way, or is there another way to accomplish what I'm doing to achieve the end result of helping my clients see financial success? Many of us have had to already do this due to the fact that we've had to think about, how do I engage with my clients when I can't go see them or they can't come see me? And we rediscovered the fact that the telephone still works. Postal mail will still mail an application to a client for a signature. Email still works. I remember a few years ago when people bellyached to complain that no one was going to use email to transact business. Where are we today? Every day we transact business by email. Virtual applications. Many of those things that we didn't think about, we didn't want to embrace, we've been forced to. And it's causing us to grow and to stretch and to develop. Ray Kroc, the really driving force behind McDonald's, said, and I've shared this quote before, he said, as long as you're green, you're growing. But when you're ripe, you start to rot. And when you quit growing as a financial advisor and you quit growing your business, you become rotten. And there's going to come a point in time when your clients are not going to want to work with a rotten advisor. So I want to encourage you not to be that guy or that gal. Let me share with you some thoughts from my coach, one of my mentors, Christian Simpson. He made a powerful statement to me a couple of years ago that resonated. And I think it's important as we think about thinking into your practice, you think about it too. And this is what Christian says. He says, no endeavor, no business will ever outperform the quality of thinking that you bring to it. So you should develop the owner, not the business. How many of us spend way too much time developing our business and not developing ourselves, not becoming better at who we are so we can become better at what we do. And when we become better at who we are, we work on ourselves. We listen to podcasts. We engage with thought leaders. We find a mentor and a coach that can help us grow. We can become a better version of ourselves. And then all of a sudden, we begin to visualize and see opportunities that have always been before us, but we weren't at a place in our business that we could see them, embrace them, and make them successful in our lives. Now, here's an area I want to challenge you in. One of the things that we've seen as a result of this COVID-19 pandemic and some of the stimulus measures that have been issued is clients today, your clients have been given the opportunity to access their 401k, their IRA, their other retirement assets without penalty to help pay their living expenses during this shutdown season. Now, while that's been a benefit in the short run, in the long run, that has created a significant problem that many of your clients may not yet be aware of, and maybe you haven't paused to think about this yourself. If your clients have gone into their 401k and they've tapped it, especially at a time when it was down as a result of the market correction we recently experienced, now all of a sudden your clients are facing two alternative outcomes. If they've taken money that they were going to save for spending tomorrow and they've spent it today, you can't spend those same dollars twice. If they spent those dollars today, they're not available to spend again tomorrow. So your clients face the choice of working longer than they anticipated in retirement or retiring with less money. Those are the two outcomes that they're facing. You're going to have a serious conversation with your clients to talk about, do you continue to work to make that money back, or are you going to retire on less money? Are there ways that we can help them grow back and recreate the wealth that they have either lost or spent or both, and do so in a prudent and safe manner? Those are areas where you as a financial professional excel. It's also important to remember that there's a significant amount of fear that's going to remain for some time. Events like this strike people's fears in a way that typical flu or other minor issues we deal with don't. These pandemics take fear to a very primal level in the brain. And as a result, there will be a lingering fear and concern that will exist in our population for some time, especially so in our older populace. And when people are afraid, fight or flight kicks in. And oftentimes, if they choose not to fight and they choose to run, right now they have nowhere to run. And as a result of that, they are paralyzed in their thinking. They can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see the fact that their money they're spending from the 401k today is not going to be there tomorrow when they get ready to retire. You have got to come to their aid and speak hope and speak peace and give them an opportunity to see that there can be a financial solution. Our clients today are dealing with money issues. Many of these issues have compounded. And for those that have gone into their retirement accounts and they have tapped that money to spend it today, that is a tsunami that is building that is going to change their planning for the future. This is why we need to be having conversations with our clients and talking to them now about the steps they need to be taking to get themselves financially healthy and whole once again, to adapt and modify and change their current plans in light of what's happened so that they can see the reality of where they are. That's why we promote the program, Your Retirement Reality, here at Vision Advisors. It's one of the tools in our toolbox that can help you help your clients understand where they are today and what that's going to present for them in the future, and give them a reality snapshot of what today looks like, and through prudent planning, how that can improve to their benefit. Now, let me share with you a few sales ideas for this new normal. For those of you that are doing dinner seminars, doing adult education, again, we talked about the fact that your numbers, at least for a season, are going to be smaller. So how do we remedy that? Well, number one, offer additional dates and times. Maybe instead of doing a Tuesday and a Thursday at 4 o'clock and at 6 o'clock, maybe you offer a Tuesday and a Thursday, and you offer 2 times each day. Or maybe you add an additional day or two to get the people into the restaurant that you want to meet with. Allow social distancing to take place. Assure them that it's going to be a safe place to come and that the numbers are going to be small on purpose for their safety, and use that as a selling proposition, a value add for one of the reasons they should meet with you. Let me also encourage you, as you're beginning to engage and do dinner seminars again, offer a virtual option for attendees. Maybe they're not comfortable coming, no matter how nice the restaurant is. Maybe they don't want to come and sit with people they don't know. Offer them a virtual option. And during that virtual presentation, offer them an opportunity to meet with you one-on-one. And if they follow through and have that meeting, you can then give them a gift card to the restaurant that you were going to be doing the event at, where they can go to that restaurant at a time that they are comfortable, but you still engaged with them in the process. Also, for those that sign up and don't attend, offer a virtual option for them. You know, life sometimes gets in the way. And while they may be well intentioned of actually being at your event, life happens. So for those that sign up and don't attend, extend the same virtual option to them with the same offer that if they meet with you after attending a virtual event and they go through that complimentary 1-hour session, 30 minutes, however long that session is with you, they would receive a gift card to that restaurant. It's a great way to boost your attendance and to get your message to the people that want and hear what you have to say. Now, you're going to continue to want to meet with your clients. So how do we do that? As the opportunity opens up in your community, you now have the option of meeting in your place, their place, or a virtual place. Virtual connection as an option, again, is another tool. Older clients may not be comfortable coming to your office, and they may not yet want you in their home. Offering them, as many of you are already doing, a virtual place to meet allows them to be comfortable. When they are relaxed and comfortable and they're not anxious, their thinking is much more in tune with hearing and listening intently to your message and understanding without an anxiety bias what you're trying to do for them. And by the way, don't forget, the telephone and postal mail still work. If your clients don't want to meet any other way than on the telephone, you can still do an old school telephone call. You can still take an app over the phone and mail it and then have them mail it back to you. We have producers that have been consistently doing that throughout this shutdown mode. Now, when it comes to client engagement, let me challenge you to think about a few things. You know, we've already talked about the telephone. Picking up the telephone to have a regular conversation with your clients just to see how they're doing and engaging with them on a social level is a valuable engagement tool that many advisors today have lost that touch. This is a touch that can be developed and cultivated, and it can be huge in continuing to maintain and grow that client relationship that you have. If you're not already doing so, let me challenge you to write a weekly blog. Just a little note once a week about what's going on. Maybe share a tip or a tidbit. Share a link to a third-party article that may be of interest to your client. Some way that you can connect with them and email it to them once a week. You don't have to go through the old school habit of typing something up, printing it, and mailing it to them, although that's great if you can do that. It's a fantastic physical touch to have something your client can touch and hold and feel and pass around and share, but you can send them a weekly blog by email. Again, just sharing what's going on, observations from the market, a third-party article. Happy to share a lot of ideas with you that we're helping advisors do as we're teaching them to blog themselves. If you're not engaging in social media, we'd love to teach and train you how to do that and to show you how to engage your customers and how to create a unique social media presence that's all about your business. You can offer to meet with your clients by video conference, and I think it's a great idea to periodically have a virtual event that you invite your clients to, where they can see you face to face, and whether they have a camera and you can see them or not, they have a chance to see you without having to leave the comfort and privacy of their home to come and be a part of what you're doing. Those events can be recorded and put on a YouTube or Vimeo channel, and we're currently working with a number of producers today that are looking to develop and deliver their message on YouTube or Vimeo. We can show you some success formulas where you can use YouTube and Vimeo as a marketing channel, not only to stay engaged with your current clients, but to engage prospective clients through social media marketing. The big challenge I want to leave you with as we get ready to wrap this up is I want to challenge you to begin to think into your practice, thinking outside the box, so to speak. It's so easy to do what we've always done. But if we do what we've always done, as I said earlier, we get the same results. Albert Einstein said insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. But how many of us are guilty of that because we don't take the time to think into our practice? We don't take the time to think about and look at, are there different ways that we could be doing what we're doing to achieve the same result? To some extent, as I said earlier, coronavirus has challenged us to do that. I want to encourage you not to stop doing that in your practice. And again, I want to remind you what my mentor and one of my coaches says as he speaks into my life on a regular basis, when he says no endeavor, no business will ever outperform the quality of thinking that you bring to it. You need to be developing yourself as an owner. We've got some tips and some ideas that we can help you with there as well. But I want to challenge you as you're thinking about next steps to connect with a visionary. Let us have an opportunity to share with you, as a thought leader in this industry, how we are helping financial professionals grow and see success. The cheese has moved, and we want to show you where the cheese has moved, so you've got an opportunity to go there yourself and see success. Let me encourage you to give us a call at Vision Advisors, 1-800-505-8489. Let me encourage you to visit us on our website, visionadvisorsinc.com. Follow and like us on Facebook and LinkedIn, where we're constantly sharing sales tips, sales ideas, third-party articles that you may want to share with your client. And of course, let me encourage you to visit our YouTube channel. You can access it through visionadvisorsinc.com. Upper right-hand corner, we have a plethora of training videos, marketing, sales videos, and ideas that you can use to grow your practice that are available 24/7. Hey, I'm John Terry. I'm a sales coach and marketing trainer with Vision Advisors. Let me thank you for being with us today. I look forward to having an opportunity to share a vision for your success when we talk. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.